Each new day is a precious gift from God, an opportunity to begin again, to walk in His grace and to trust in His perfect plan for our lives. Before the noise of the world fills our minds, and before the responsibilities of the day take over, there is great power in choosing to invite God first into our morning. When we begin our day with prayer, we are not just speaking words, we are opening our hearts to God's presence, seeking His wisdom, His peace, His protection, and His strength. A blessed morning starts not with worry or hurry, but with faith, surrender, and thanksgiving. Today, as we reflect on the message, Invite God First into Your Day, a blessed morning prayer, let us be reminded that putting God first changes the atmosphere of our entire day. It gives us hope for every challenge, courage for every step, and confidence that we do not walk alone. Starting your day by seeking God's presence, guidance, and peace through prayer is one of the most powerful choices a person can make. Morning prayer is more than a routine or a religious habit. It is a sincere act of faith that places God at the center of everything before the day begins. When you open your eyes in the morning, you are stepping into a new gift of life, a fresh opportunity to walk with God, trust Him, and depend on Him. Instead of allowing worry, pressure, or busyness to control your thoughts, prayer helps you begin with calmness, purpose, and spiritual focus. Seeking God's presence first means inviting Him into your heart, your mind, and your day before anything else takes your attention. Many people begin the morning by checking their phones, thinking about responsibilities, or feeling overwhelmed by what lies ahead. But when you choose to seek God first, you shift your focus from earthly concerns to heavenly assurance. You remind yourself that you are not facing the day alone. God is with you. His presence is not distant, and His love is not limited to special moments. He is near at the very start of the day, ready to listen, strengthen, and guide. God's presence brings comfort that nothing else can give. There are mornings when a person wakes up with joy and energy, but there are also mornings filled with heaviness, uncertainty, or silent struggles. In such moments, prayer becomes a place of refuge. It is where you can speak honestly to God about your fears, your hopes, your burdens, and your needs. You do not need perfect words. You do not need to impress God with formal language. What matters is a sincere heart that turns to Him. When you pray, you welcome His presence into the spaces that feel weak, anxious, or troubled. His presence has the power to calm the storm within you, even before the storm around you changes. Seeking God's guidance in the morning is equally important because every day brings decisions, conversations, responsibilities, and unexpected moments. No matter how prepared or experienced a person may be, human understanding is limited. We cannot see the full picture of what the day holds, but God can. He knows every step before we take it, every challenge before it appears, and every opportunity before it arrives. That is why morning prayer is a moment of surrender. It is a way of saying, Lord, lead me today. Direct my thoughts, my words, my actions, and my choices. When you seek God's guidance, you acknowledge that His wisdom is greater than your own. Instead of relying only on your own plans, you place your trust in His direction. This does not mean you stop thinking, working, or planning. It means you allow God to shape your path. Through prayer, you ask Him to help you make wise decisions, respond with kindness, avoid temptation, and stay faithful in every situation. His guidance often comes through Scripture, through a sense of peace, through conviction in your spirit, or through the quiet clarity He gives as you pray. A day that begins with God's guidance is a day that is more likely to stay aligned with His will. Prayer in the morning also allows you to seek God's peace. In today's world, peace can feel difficult to hold on to. Life moves quickly, demands are constant. News, stress, deadlines, and personal struggles can disturb the heart before the morning is even halfway over. But the peace of God is different from the peace the world offers. It does not depend on everything going perfectly. It does not disappear when difficulties arise. God's peace is deeper, stronger, and more steady because it comes from His presence. When you begin your morning in prayer, you create space for God's peace to settle over your heart. You lay down your worries before Him. You release the weight of things you cannot control. You remember that God is faithful, that He is working even when you cannot see it, and that His grace will be enough for the day ahead. This peace protects your mind from panic and your heart from despair. It gives you the ability to move through the day with trust instead of fear. Even if challenges come, prayer helps you carry a quiet confidence that God is still in control. Another important part of starting your day with prayer is thanksgiving. Seeking God's presence, guidance, and peace does not begin with asking alone. It also begins with gratitude. Each morning is evidence of God's mercy. Waking up is a blessing. The breath in your lungs, the strength to rise, the chance to live another day, these are all gifts from God. When you thank Him in the morning, your heart shifts from complaint to appreciation. Gratitude opens your eyes to God's goodness and reminds you that He has already been faithful. Thanksgiving in prayer prepares your spirit to trust Him for what lies ahead. When you remember what God has done, you become more confident in what He will do. You can thank Him for His protection through the night, for His unfailing love, for His provision, and for His promises. A thankful heart enters the day with joy and humility, recognizing that every good thing comes from the Lord. Morning prayer also strengthens your relationship with God. Relationships grow through time, communication, and closeness. The same is true in your walk with Him. When you consistently seek Him first each day, your awareness of His presence becomes stronger. You become more sensitive to His voice, more dependent on His grace, and more rooted in faith. Prayer changes from being an occasional act into a daily connection. It becomes a foundation for your life. This daily practice also shapes your character. The more you seek God in the morning, the more His truth influences your thoughts and actions. You begin to carry His peace into your conversations. You begin to show patience where you once showed frustration. You begin to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. A prayerful morning often leads to a more faithful day because it sets the tone for how you live, speak, and think. Starting your day with prayer does not require a perfect schedule or a long amount of time. What matters most is intentionality. Even a few quiet moments spent sincerely before God can make a difference. You can pray in your room, by your bedside, on your way to work, or in any quiet place where your heart can focus on Him. The power is not in the location or length of the prayer, but in the faith behind it. When you seek God's presence, guidance, and peace through prayer each morning, you are choosing to begin from a place of spiritual strength rather than human struggle. You are declaring that God is first, that His will matters most, and that His help is necessary for everything ahead. Instead of entering the day empty, you enter it filled. Instead of being led by stress, you are led by faith. Instead of depending only on yourself, you walk with the assurance that God goes before you. Every morning offers a fresh invitation to begin with God, to trust Him more deeply, and to let prayer become the doorway into a blessed day. Putting God first in the morning gives you strength, wisdom, and confidence for the day. This simple truth carries deep meaning because the way you begin your morning often shapes the way you live through the rest of the day. When God becomes your first focus, your heart is positioned correctly. Your thoughts are centered. Your spirit is strengthened. Instead of entering the day distracted, rushed, or discouraged, you begin with divine help, and that changes everything.
Every day comes with responsibilities, challenges, and unknown situations. Some days are peaceful, while others are filled with pressure, decisions, and emotional burdens. No matter what kind of day lies ahead, beginning with God allows you to face it from a place of spiritual readiness. You are no longer depending only on your own energy, understanding, or ability. You are drawing from a source greater than yourself. God gives strength when you feel weak, wisdom when you feel uncertain, and confidence when you feel afraid. One of the greatest blessings of putting God first in the morning is the strength He gives. Human strength is limited. Even the most determined person can feel tired, overwhelmed, or discouraged. Life has a way of draining energy through worry, work, personal struggles, and unexpected problems. Sometimes people wake up already feeling exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. In those moments, prayer becomes a source of renewal. When you come before God in the morning,